Coming up on the March 23rd edition of Carolina Week.
Our troops have been gone for 2 years, and students come together to reflect on how some of them pay the ultimate price.
And as graduation nears, the press begins for seniors to find jobs.
It's oh so sweet to be a Tar Heel basketball fan this time of year. We'll have highlights in the news of the 2 Tar Heel teams still in the big dance.
Plus your Carolina Week 4-day forecast.
All that and more.
Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening, I'm Joe Mott.
And I'm Lydia Garlikov. Political groups on campus are usually at odds about everything.
But that wasn't the case Monday night. Elizabeth Crumpler is live in the studio with more. Elizabeth?
A little more than 2 years ago, Americans began Operation Iraqi Freedom. Monday, 2 student groups on opposite ends of the political spectrum joined forces to honor the sacrifice of servicemen and women who've lost their lives since the war began.
Sunday marked the first day of spring, but as students returned to campus from spring break, they saw flags, not flowers, sprouting up on the quad. UNC's college Republicans and Young Democrats collaborated with Campus Y, lining Polk Place with American flags to honor the sailors, airmen, and Marines who have been killed in Iraq. Students held a vigil Monday night, standing in a graveyard of flags and sharing a moment of silence to reflect upon the sacrifices of those that have given their lives fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. Each of the more than 1,500 flags scattered across the quad represented a serviceman or woman who has lost his or her life in combat. Co-president of the Campus Y, Stephen Lassiter, says this event was important in reminding students of all our servicemen and women do.
It's a good thing to raise that awareness and let others know that, soldiers are being thought of. Those that are putting their lives on the line are going to be remembered.
College Republican co-chair Jordan Selleck joined Campus Y and the leaders of Young Democrats in a rare expression of unity to help coordinate this event. He says it's important for students, conservative or liberal, to be unified in appreciating U.S. troops.
This is a good way for us to come together and something that we both support, and a way for us to express our voice for what the soldiers mean to us.
Both Lassiter and Selleck say they hope that these flags serve as a reminder to students not to take their freedom for granted.
The leaders of college Republicans and Young Democrats say they hope they can team up in the future to help rally more support for our troops, as well as spread awareness about other important issues. Joe?
Elizabeth Crumpler reporting live in the studio. Thanks, Elizabeth.
John Edwards has begun his work at the helm of UNC's Center on Poverty, Work, and Opportunity. Students and community members left standing room only Tuesday afternoon during a panel discussion about poverty reduction. University leaders and business owners discussed how important savings and assets are in helping families move out of poverty and into the middle class. During his 2 years as director of the center, Edwards wants to make the end of poverty the cause of this generation of college students.
There are millions of people who are doing the right thing, who want to work, who are industrious, who love their kids, who want their kids to have a better life, and no matter how hard they try, they can't get ahead. And there's something we can do about that.
Edwards will give an address about poverty next Tuesday, March 29th, in the Law School Rotunda.
Carrboro has become very popular because of its wireless access to the internet. Now, Chapel Hill is hoping to implement something similar. University students often spend their time in coffee shops. Some of these students have wireless internet connections through various businesses, which means multiple bills. Seth Dearman is trying to make public wireless available to all students throughout downtown.
Currently, a lot of businesses have their own wireless that students have to pay for that only works for that business. So if I came to buy a cup of coffee here at Caribou and then went to Jack Sprat, I would have to be paying 2 different internet bills at this point. So part of that, the new process would definitely be to have internet available for everyone at all businesses.
Dearman is working with the Downtown Economic Organization to get internet access in downtown Chapel Hill.
There might soon be activity in what used to be Wicked Burrito on Franklin Street. Lone Star Steakhouse and Saloon owns the brightly colored vacated building and says it has plans for it, though it's been left empty for 5 years. Chapel Hill Town Council members are considering requests to condemn the building or to use it as a temporary site for a new children's museum.
Airport Road is about to get a new name, but another small road in Chapel Hill is losing its own. Residents on Martin Luther King Street must find a new name for their 12 House Road in order to avoid duplication when Airport Road is renamed MLK Boulevard on May 8th. The Town Council held a hearing giving residents a chance to publicly voice their preferences. Residents voted on the new name with Jackie Robinson as the top choice. Other residents say regardless of the choice, they're ready for the town leaders to make up their minds and make the change.
Actually, I just want the street to be named so I can know what to do. What I need to write on my bills now.
The Town Council will make its final decision on April 11th.
Student Congress has rejected the student body president-elect's pick for VP. Seth Dearman wanted his campaign manager, Adrian Johnston, to be second in command. After a debate about Johnston's campaigning, possible biases, and effects his friendship with Dearman might have on his professional duties, the body vetoed the appointment. Congress will reconsider the vote next Tuesday.
Lydia, rising costs are about to take a bigger bite out of all of our budgets.
That's right, and as the price of several things go up, first it's gasoline. Going to the gas station is becoming more painful each day. The retail price for gasoline hit a record of $2.10 per gallon last Monday. According to the Energy Department, the price will keep on climbing to $2.15 later this spring. The change especially affects students who live outside Chapel Hill.
It costs a lot because I go back and forth to home, which is like 30 miles, so my car's not that great on gas, so it costs me like $20 every couple of days.
The price for diesel fuel has also increased 5 cents to a record of $2.24 a gallon, up about 60 cents from a year ago. The highest price for gasoline in American history was $3.08 in 1981.
If you're an out-of-state student, prepare to pay a little more for your education. The UNC Board of Governors met Friday and decided next fall, out-of-state undergrads will have to pay $700 more for tuition. In-state students won't see any increases. Out-of-state graduate students will pay $950 more. Tuition for in-state grad students will go up by $200. The board approved out-of-state tuition hikes at 12 of the system's 16 public universities. And on Friday, the UNC Board of Governors approved an increase to increase student athletic fees. The fee goes towards supporting varsity athletics other than football and men's basketball. Students had opposed the fee, but student government decided to support the increase. Student body Vice President Alexa Kleistuber says it was a compromise that favored the student body.
Students didn't make out optimally in kind of negotiations of where the money was going with the athletic fee. They did make out in terms of, final pocketbook numbers.
Fees currently are $98 annually, but will increase $100 to next year to $198. The university trustees hope to raise the fee a total of $150 in the next 2 years.
The semester's winding down, but for Carolina seniors, the job hunt is just beginning. Here's more from Carolina Week's Vida Awume.
Spring break is over, and now most graduating seniors are thinking about
definitely getting a job.
So for help in that search, seniors are looking to University Career Services. Career counselors say 75 to 85% of seniors seek out career services each year. Students might get resume and cover letter advice and even schedule mock interviews prior to the real thing. There are also programs like the New York Recruiting Alliance, which allows students to send resumes and cover letters to employers with the possibility of being selected for interviews in New York City. Senior Jeff Eisenberg participated in the NYRA and says the trip was worth it.
It was definitely a really great opportunity to interview with multiple advertising agencies in the same weekend, as well as get a chance to go home and see family.
Executive Director of Career Services, Marsha Harris, says having opportunities for students to travel to meet with attractive employers is another way to help students in the job search. But, she says, most seniors won't have jobs lined up by May.
It's only about a quarter of our students actually have a job in hand by graduation.
Still, Harris says the number of seniors seeking out career services has increased in recent years. By the end of the 2002-2003 school year, a little more than 1,400 seniors sought advice from counselors. Last year, about 2,400 seniors used career services. This year, the number is expected to increase. In Chapel Hill, I'm Vida Awume, Carolina Week.
Because students aren't required to report back to Career Services their job-finding successes, there aren't any statistics about the number of students who actually find jobs through UCS. Well, doctors in India have been doing groundbreaking work with scientists here in the Triangle.
When we return, how research done on monkeys like these might prompt men to start strolling the pharmacy aisles for something unexpected.
There is really only one boy. One girl. One tree. One forest. One deep, dancing ocean. One mountain calling. One handful of sand through our fingers. One endless sky overhead. And one simple way to care for it all. Please visit earthshare.org and learn how the world's leading environmental groups are working together under one name, EarthShare. One environment, one simple way to care for it.
Currently, women have a variety of options available for birth control. But as medical reporter Jocelyn Oberdick explains, UNC scientists are now working on developing a contraceptive aimed at men.
Macaque monkeys like these have provided a living test tube for a new form of male birth control. UNC professor Michael O'Rand led the effort.
We've been interested in developing a immunocontraceptive. That is a contraceptive that works by immunizing a person or an animal.
Indian scientists worked with UNC researchers to test a contraceptive vaccine on 7 male monkeys. They received injections every 3 weeks for 3 years. During this time, no females got pregnant. Scientists say the vaccine worked because of a protein that naturally covers the sperm. That protein, shown here in red, is called epin. When scientists injected additional epin into the monkeys, it created antibodies that prevented fertilization. When researchers stopped the vaccinations, 5 of the 7 monkeys began reproducing within a year.
I see no reason why it shouldn't work in humans.
If successfully developed, this vaccine could be available as an injection or as an oral contraceptive, like women's birth control pills. Students here at Chapel Hill welcome the idea of a male alternative to birth control.
Right now it's sort of like condoms are the only thing men can do in terms of contraception.
So do you think that they would be willing to try something?
I know I personally would be.
I think I'd encourage my man to go do it.
But I think it would be very well received. I think it'd be kind of a take the heat off the girl sometimes. So.
But students will have to wait. It may be more than 10 years before this new contraceptive reaches pharmacy shelves. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jocelyn Oberdick, Carolina Week.
In the meantime, there are still other birth control methods available for men and women. You can contact UNC's Clinic for Healthy Student Behaviors for more information.
Another case of bacterial meningitis has university officials concerned. A second student at Granville Towers has contracted the disease. This is the 3rd case at UNC in the past 6 months. The State Health Department is notifying people who might have had contact with the student and directing them to receive antibiotics at either UNC Student Health or another clinic.
After the Triangle's big ice storm in 2002, community emergency response teams began popping up in the local area. CERT is a group of volunteers committed to helping first responders and the community in an emergency situation. CERT volunteers are trained in fire and terrorism response techniques as well as first aid safety. Some emergency teams also survey neighborhoods for special needs residents who might need extra help during a disaster. Although the number of volunteers has increased significantly since 9/11, funding for the program has dropped off substantially. Response team members believe such a successful program deserves financial support.
Lydia, he's a familiar face in the halls of the UNC School of Journalism.
But after serving students for 26 years, Dean Richard Cole's term as dean is quickly coming to a close. But before entering retirement this May, Cole will be inducted into the North Carolina Journalism Hall of Fame. He'll share the honor with luminaries like Charles Kuralt and David Brinkley. After a year-long sabbatical, Cole will return and join the faculty. Congratulations is certainly in order for him.
Congratulations, I think so. Well, Rob Ellis joins us now for some weather.
Well, we do have some cloudiness that's going to be coming on the way, but it does look like spring is just around the corner. I'll have your 4-day forecast coming up in just a moment.
this place. You give blood and they take the platelets out and give the blood back to you. It gives me goosebumps just to think about it. The hours are a bit strange, but I'm getting used to that. I come whenever I can. After all, isn't it better to give blood to them than to you know who? Just kidding.
Count.
1, 2, 3. Old habits die hard.
For more information on how you can donate, contact the UNC Blood Center.
I think I'll give O negative today.
Boy, that guy is weird.
If you're not recycling, you're throwing it all away.
Well, hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. It's time now for your Carolina Week weather. Our big headline is that spring is finally here. Our official start was March 20th, and it looks like Mother Nature has gotten the hint. We've seen our temperatures go way up, and with some of those high temperatures, we've actually seen a few storms in the area and in the southeast. But once we get over that stormy start, we have an excellent weekend, pardon the pun, as we go into your Easter break. Let's go ahead and take a look at the satellite map and see what's going on. Here's the system that brought a lot of those storms throughout much of the southeast. There were tornadoes reported all throughout Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, as well as some in the Carolinas as well. And this system is going to push off, and we do have some residual cloudiness left over with the low pressure system that is behind it. Let's take a look at the surface map, and I can actually show you what I'm talking about. Here's the low pressure. This is a classic system that you'll see this time of year. As we go through spring, you'll see many more maps just like this. You have a low pressure system, cold front, and a warm front ahead of it. So the warm front moves in first, brings those temperatures way up. When it does that, we get instability. As the cold front pushes through, it triggers those storms. And that's what we saw in some of the southeast yesterday. Once this pushes through, we do expect to clear out and a little bit of cloudiness left over, and we will see some of those cloudiness in our forecast. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-day forecast, bring it right back to Chapel Hill, and I can show you that. Here's starting off on Friday, 67 degrees for your high. Overnight, still a little chilly, 43, but as we move into Saturday and the weekend, 70 degrees on Saturday. It's going to be a beautiful day. Some of those residual clouds left over from that system. Low overnight of 50, and there it is. If you're hopping down the bunny trail on Sunday, it's going to be 71 degrees, 51 overnight for your low. And as we move into Monday, we may see some clouds build in along with some showers and thunderstorms. Just a hint, as we do have some of that warming and some instability, we'll see that. High of 60 degrees, overnight 48 degrees. If you're hopping over to the beach, let's go ahead and take a look there and see what's going on. Saturday and Sunday, this is a great day, great weekend to go to the beach. 71 on Saturday, overnight low 52. There you see on Sunday, much of the same, 72 degrees. And if you're hopping the other direction, yeah, we'll do the whole thing. Here's your mountain forecast. Saturday, high of 65 degrees, low overnight 48. And Sunday, you see much of the same, 60 degrees over as your daytime high. We do see some rain showers that are actually going to be moving in with that leftover low pressure system. They have a bigger chance. And if you're heading to the game, we have a Syracuse regional forecast Friday. Look at that. We're blessed here because they're just dealing with rain and snow, high of 42, low overnight 28 degrees. Not a great day for them, but hopefully the teams that are up there playing will have a good chance. Hopefully they'll have better game than they have weather.
Well, they'll be indoor. I don't think I have to worry about that. I'm just happy around here we're going to have looking into the 70s for the next week. Is that going to stay now? Are we into spring officially now?
We are officially into spring, but there's always that chance as you move in through and you get some of these cold fronts that move through, we could have some cold temperatures come back, but we're hoping to keep them at bay.
Well, thank you very much, Rob.
No problem.
And Sexton's got our sports. The only reason I would even think of going to Syracuse with that weather is to see Carolina men's basketball.
Oh, it would definitely be worth it, I'm sure. And the women's team is going to Arizona. I mean, I wouldn't mind going there. Their weather's pretty good.
Wouldn't mind it either.
First coming up in sports, you've probably all seen those dorky NCAA commercials on TV showing little-known student athletes who talk about going pro in something other than sports. Well, we thought we'd flip that and talk about a couple of great players who are going pro in their sport.
At the North Carolina Botanical Garden. Through public service, research, conservation, and education. The garden brings North Carolina's rich natural heritage to you. It's a beautiful way to learn.
Hey, there are a lot of ways we can help our community. Spending our money in Orange County, whether it's filling up the car or shopping at local businesses, helps maintain our roads, improves our children's schools, and creates jobs. Spending your money locally helps us all in a big way. So remember, shop Orange first.
There's a new darling in women's college basketball, and it's Ivory Latta. 17 points for the super sophomore.
How sweet it is right. As the women's basketball team joined the men's squad in the elusive Sweet 16 Tuesday night after a blowout win against George Washington. This is Carolina Week Sports, and I'm Ann Sexton. And forget, in my mind, I'm going to Carolina, because in my mind, we're going to the Final Four. Question: when was the last time the Lady Tar Heels had a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament, and who knocked them out? Answer: 8 years ago to the day. George Washington knocked out Carolina in the Sweet 16. Tuesday night, history looked ready to repeat itself as GW took an early lead, but the Heels had an answer. Steal by Ivory Latta and a dish to Latoya Pringle helped the Heels regain the lead, and this 3 by Latta put Carolina up for good. There was a scary moment later on for the Heels when freshman Elena Larkins collapsed on the left side of your screen. Trainers carried her off the court because of an aggravated ankle injury. But look at that, Latta comes back and hits this 3 from Boone as the Heels advance 71-47. Guard Nikita Bell explained Carolina's secret to success.
Just proves, like, you know, we're deep and we have a lot of love for each other, and if one go down, others will step up. I mean, I feel like when you sub, we're not going to lose anything, and we'll still have the same intensity, the same love for each other.
Carolina will take on Arizona State Saturday in the Sweet 16. The men's team will be the first to play in the Sweet 16. The Heels play Villanova on Friday. Carolina head coach Roy Williams talked to the media about playing against a hungry team that has lost its star player.
No, there's no question that Sumter is a big-time player for him. He's had a great year, but from the mental side of it, I worry that everybody else is going to elevate, as we said, and make up for the loss of him.
More news on the men's side. Center Sean May was named second-team All-American on Tuesday. Point guard Raymond Felton was named to the third team, and forward Rashad McCants was an honorable mention. Well, if you're worried about the Tar Heel trio turning pro, you're not alone. But those guys aren't the only Tar Heels with thoughts of the professional ranks. Reporter Zeke Smith has the story.
Meet 2 Heels who are weighing the pros.
4 or 5 years down the road, either in the big leagues or close to it. That's my goal.
And cons.
Done it before. I know how tough it is. I mean, it's a day in and day out grind.
Of playing after college. Sophomore pitcher Daniel Bard says he can see himself learning from the stars already.
Watching the World Series watching Kurt Schilling pitch was just unbelievable. I learned a lot from him.
But he might be surprised just how much the odds are stacked against him. According to the National High School Athletic Association, the odds of a high school athlete playing in college is about 1 in 25, a number that could fill one of these rows. But the odds of that same athlete playing in the pros is 1 in 50,000, a number that could fill Kenan Stadium. Senior Aniela Mojish beat the odds and played on the ITF tour before college, but doesn't plan to return. Still, she says that she would recommend playing on a pro tour for any of her teammates that get the chance.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better than having to practice with a team under a different kind of pressure and stuff.
And the payoff isn't too bad either.
If you can break through, I mean, the salaries are very good. Gets a lot of money.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Zeke Smith, Carolina Week.
There might be a couple of other Tar Heel baseball players going pro in the future, but first they had to take on the Towson Tigers Tuesday. Hits came early for the Heels, but errors from Towson did nothing but help move the Heels across the plate. The Heels made sure they didn't sink to Towson's level as they kept the Tigers off the bases. And with Towson stuck in neutral, this Mike Daniel bloop double brings in 2, puts the Heels up for good as they go on to win 6-4. Daniel says even though Towson isn't a big-time program, everyone matters.
The teams, the prestige is not really there, like the Clemsons and the Florida States that we play on the weekends, but these games definitely count. They're important and they help us get into the NCAA tournament.
Mike Daniel provided the offense again on Wednesday as he flexed his muscles with the second home run of the day. Andy Gale's nearly perfect day pitching led the Tar Heels 6-0 shutout of Towson. The Heels are now 17-5. The softball team took on Furman in a doubleheader Wednesday afternoon and came out hot. Clutch hitter Casey Testa drives this one to right field as the two Tar Heels come around to score, putting Carolina up 2-0. That was all they needed as Crystal Cox was perfect. Her no-hitter gave the Tar Heels an 11-0 win. In the second game of that doubleheader, the Heels lead 4-0 to the top of the third inning. Well, the weather's really nice for baseball and softball, but basketball, it's on the minds of everybody.
I think it's on the minds of everybody. I think we are playing, I know we are playing Syracuse on Friday night.
Syracuse.
In Syracuse, that is correct, all the way up there at 9:57 p.m., pretty exact time there.
That's right, and Duke and State are both playing.
Both at the same night.
It's going to be huge around the triangle. Everyone's going to be on the edge of their seats. It's going to be
And
great.
the exciting thing on the minds of many, if State can beat Wisconsin and Carolina can beat Villanova, it's going to be a State UNC matchup
All
for the
ACC.
Elite Eight, and that'll be exciting.
Very exciting.
Thank you very much.
Well, Joe, we all know about kids that have lemonade stands.
But coming up, we'll show you how local kids built a whole community of businesses in the spirit of the season.
When you buy disposable and overpackaged products for your home, you're really saying, I'm fine with depleting natural resources. Pollute our air and water. Energy? Wasted. People tell you, hey, go for less packaging. Check out reusables. Buy stuff in bulk. Well, you tell them, no thanks. I'd rather throw it all away. Buy smart. Waste less. Save more.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
With spring comes blooming flowers, green grass, and of course, bunnies. This season has some local kindergartners hopping into the world of business.
Weren't the only thing on sale at McDougal Elementary School on Tuesday morning. It was the 10th annual Bunnyville, where elementary school students set up a mock town to sell goods to visitors. Well, sell might be a stretch. After all, the 5 bunny bucks given to each customer wasn't real money, but it made no difference to the eager proprietors. From a vet's office with sound advice for a sick cat,
you're not giving them much air,
to a grocery store selling baked goods.
Give them a dollar.
Students rolled in the dough and also learned some valuable lessons.
They're learning how economics, and they're learning about how to start a business. They're learning the difference between goods and services.
$31
is how much some stores made through a complicated system of salesmanship.
We kind of like convinced them, kind of like asked them how may I take your order, or like what would you like or anything.
And at the end of a hard day at their first job, the young entrepreneurs had a taste of a life they're fast approaching.
That's how I spent my Monday morning, and let me tell you, it was absolutely lovely. Those kids were adorable.
They are. Well, we here at Carolina Week have been working very hard, just as those kids were. And we brought home actually second place in the nation from the Academy of Television, the Arts and Sciences Foundation. It's basically the Emmys for student television media. So we've been working hard, and congratulations to our producer, Christy Keck, for producing that newscast.
She spent her spring break picking that up in Los Angeles, and her and our director, Stephanie Busey, did a wonderful job producing that show, and we're very proud of them and us here at Carolina Week.
As they do every week, and I'm sure that was a fabulous spring break. The weather out there is fabulous.
It is, and coming up, we're getting into spring, and everybody's just very excited. We have basketball coming up. We have softball getting in. This is just a very exciting time to be here at Carolina.
That's right. Lots of stuff to do this weekend, but we thank you for watching us this evening.
Thank you very much, and good night.